set up the device. Small 11G sensor can be clipped to a wristband, under your clothes, and anywhere else it can remain in contact with your skin. The wearable's LED sensor monitors changes in your heart rate, sending a continuous stream of data to your phone over Bluetooth. So I hope you have you've grandfathered into your provider for an unlimited data plan. If you reach your personal alertness threshold, it's going to sound a preventative alarm and advise you to stop driving. Many lives are lost every year to drowsy drivers and drivers falling asleep. That includes people driving in cars and long-distance truck drivers. All right. I mean, I think it's worth it. We could sit here and once we get the item here, we'll take a look at it, and we'll kind of, for the most part, we'll take it from there. I mean, I think it's worth it. I think we had Anthony Johnson scheduled for 45 minutes past the hour. So we'll wait for him to give a call in, because he's going to talk about his mock draft blog post. And just in case if he doesn't, we're going to go right into this item called 5 Mistakes That Can Torpedo Your Finances. A financial professional suggests improving your money mastery during Financial Literacy Month. So it's not only Autism Awareness Month, it's Financial Literacy Month. I mean, and I think earlier this evening we were talking with Danny Thompson about it, and we said, okay, we talked about how these athletes, 3 years outside of being retired, 70% of them, I think the number is over 70, I think it's closer to 80% of them are, for the most part, broke, or they have to file, for bankruptcy. And I think it all comes from a conversation Lee, Todd, Murph, and who else we were having it about maybe 6 to 9 months ago. Rosalind Ross, we were having about this one and done problem. We're talking about how these athletes are not focusing on the academics, and we can sit here and we can go back and forth about whether or not it's about, hey, this person has to get out of the projects, or hey, this person has run into this specific situation. But it's really so much more than that. You got to get down to it, because your lifespan, your shelf life as an athlete is going to be very short. If you look at it, you can count on one hand the amount of players that play 10, 15, 17 years. It doesn't happen. It's not the norm. Most of these folks are in and out. Why? Because their bodies can't handle some of these grueling schedules, some of the back-to-back stuff, some of the, hey, I'm going to play on Sunday and then I'm going to play on Thursday, with this new NFL schedule. Or, hey, how many of these players, they can't play 162 games, when you're looking at baseball. Hockey, you know how grueling the sport is. So it's really more about, are you prepping yourself for that next career? For someone like me who wasn't a professional athlete, you had to prep yourself from day one. You prepped yourself from when you were in school, and you go on to, junior college, and then you finish your last 2 years so you can get your bachelor's degree and everything. And then you take it from there. You take it from there because you look and see where your career is going to move. So with all of that being said, it's more on the lines of how are you prepping yourself. And this note here talks about, okay, the investment world comes with such a maze of options and pitfalls that it's little wonder people routinely become entangled in monumental and costly mistakes. Tax implications lurk behind nearly every move. Investment risks vary from negligible to moderate to great. I'm going to stop right here because I think our friend Christopher Whalen explained some of these pitfalls that people are running through, as they get prepped for, because April 15th is coming right around the corner. The tax season, everyone's looking for that big tax check, and they don't want to go to an accountant anymore. They want to do it online. They want to take the cheap route, the cheapest way out, and it's not a knock against that mile. But you need to have a background. You need to at least know what you're doing. You need to know what you can claim and what you shouldn't be able to claim. It's. I learned, and thankfully I didn't learn the hard way. But I had an accountant, and I went through it for several years to the point where I was able to pick that skill set up, do your taxes, do them properly, not get audited, and you're comfortable. So, and it's not just a matter of making the right financial decisions. It's making them at the right time. Doing the right thing at the wrong time makes it the wrong thing to do. So don't despair. April is National Financial Literacy Month, and it's a good time to take stock of where you are money-wise and explore how you can improve. So it's about asking the right questions, taking the right precautions. You can sidestep these common financial mistakes. So mistake number 1 is becoming infatuated with the latest, hottest investment. It's easy to be seduced by whatever is creating the greatest buzz. After all, you don't want to miss out while everyone is reaping rewards. Resist the temptation. Momentary sizzle doesn't guarantee long-term success. Hot investments are like ice cubes. They're solid when you get them, but soon liquefy when you liquidate and your gains trickle away. And, a couple of people might be upset with me when I say, look at something like Meerkat. Will Meerkat survive? Do you even know what Meerkat is? Do you even know what Periscope has just come in? And these are mobile streaming apps, mobile streaming video streaming apps, the latest and greatest, where you can sit here and you can stream yourself doing whatever. So, like, if I wanted to stream the show right now, I could stream it using some of these applications. This is some of the stuff that's latest and greatest. Is it going anywhere? We don't know. Is it here to stay? We don't know. So should you invest in it? I can't tell you to do so. Neglecting to consider all the options. Savvy investors use different kinds of investments to satisfy different financial needs. Don't neglect the full array of available investments. Relying on stocks, bonds, and cash puts you at a disadvantage. Failing to account for investment costs and tax ramifications. Investing isn't free. Usually there's some sort of fee attached, and those fees can gnaw away at your returns. Taxes can too, so before long, what looked like to be a nice return can evolve into a minimal, break-even, or losing proposition. Don't diminish the importance of investment costs because they diminish your wealth. You need to take time to learn about the costs that are applied to each type of investment. Spending all that comes in. And that's never a smart thing to do. Because what do you have to do? You want to save for a rainy day. I know with me, a rainy day was when my daughter needed braces. I know, that's just one example of, So you have too many people that let their income level set the ceiling on how much they spend each month. Such spendthrift habits leave people living paycheck to paycheck. And when the inevitable emergency arises, a car repair, a medical bill, a bank account is short, and they need to take on debt just to survive until the next payday. Your budget, not your income, should dictate your spending limits. If you don't have a monthly budget, you need to get one. Let me just stop right here because a lot of people don't have a monthly budget. You don't know how much is going out. You kind of have an idea of what's coming in. You know your net. You might know when there's a bonus coming in. And most folks already, that stuff is already spent. So let me get back to it. If you don't have a monthly budget, and many people don't, now's a good time to create one. Just make sure the amount you budget to spend is less than your net income. Not your gross, your net. And then stick to your budget. Otherwise, you'll soon creep into the realm of deficit spending, a place best avoided. There's nothing worse than getting something in the mail saying, due to insufficient funds, the bank is going to turn around and take $35 or $40 every time you try to withdraw or purchase something. You got to be smarter than that. Trying to go at it alone. Most people, whether they want to admit it or not, need investment advice. Without reliable guidance, they can end up lost in the financial jungle and succumb to numerous hazards that await the unwary. You need someone who understands the upsides and all the pitfalls. But not all investment advice is equal either. People you choose should be both skilled and trustworthy. And you should always put your interests first. And those are just some mistakes that can, basically torpedo your finances. You got to be smart with the money. I could tell you, me for one, with the mortgage, with the car insurance, with tuitions for the kids, with everything else, all the utilities and everything. You got to be smart. You got to budget this stuff out, and you got to be working with different people. And also, you got to put something away in your 401k. And you also got to have the life insurance for your wife and children, just in case if something happens to you. And lastly, I don't want to sound preachy, but you got to also be at the point where if you can factor it into your mortgage that if you were to pass away, your mortgage or your home is paid for. It's these little sacrifices that pay off in the end. So with that, that's some of my news and notes. As I said, Financial Literacy Month, Autism Awareness Month. We're going to be back next week. We want to thank you guys once again, we want to thank Danny Thompson coming in here to talk NCAA Final Four. Not sure what happened to Anthony Johnson. Our good friends at Barbershop Sports, Hezi, I will be giving you a shout-out to find out what happened to the whole Winston versus Mariota discussion. But I know Anthony's a new dad, so anything could have come up. And so we understand. With that, we're getting ready to close out. Make sure you tune in. Well, I want to say, to those, Happy Easter. This is Holy Week. Tomorrow is Holy Thursday, and we have Good Friday. Just want to wish you guys the very best. We definitely love you, and we thank you for listening to the show. I'm not sure what song we're going to go out. I think this Saturday we're going to have our latest baseball, beer, and barbecue with T. Murph 207. My tag team partner will be joining us. And with that, I think we're going to close out with Change and Speak. As we said, folks, we love you. We'll see you next week.